What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. It's a very cold day in the Bay Area. It's very rainy and it's very cold, but we gonna tough it out. And today I'm gonna go over a topic that I've been getting a lot of DMs for. Actually, a lot of you guys have been getting your ISs, and I feel like it's perfect time for me to go over the top 6 first mods that I usually do when I get a new car. Not in any particular order, but I tend to do these a lot, and I feel like it's a good foundation that you can start off with when building your car. Whether you're someone new in the car scene or someone who's been in the car scene for many years, you guys can follow this template as well. But let's get into today's video. So the first mod that I am going to start with is going to be upgrading your suspension. And this is very, depending on where you want to go with this car. If you want to make it a show build, is it going to be your daily? Are you going to go on the track? There's various different ways that you can go with this, and I'm specifically talking about like lowering your car and or raising your car if you're like really into that. But getting upgraded suspension, whether you want to go with coils, you want to go with springs, or if you're balling, you can always get back. But the reason why I put this at number 1 is because it upgrades the overall look of the car. Like, it's not just going to do something to one part of the car, not just the front, not just the back, not just the sides, but it's going to do it to the overall look of the car. And the reason why I do this first is because I feel like any car out there can look good low. Like, you can have a Prius and make it low. I think it'll look pretty decent. It might not be everyone's taste, but I feel like adding suspension first is like a good foundation for everything else that you're gonna do with the car. And this is why I always highly suggest you look into a good set of coils, springs, or even bags. You don't want to cheap out on this because this isn't something that you want to cheap out on. You're going to be riding on this for at least a couple years until you either upgrade to something else or you replace it for something else. But you never want to cheap out on this because this is what your car is going to be riding on at least for the next couple years. So the next mod on the list is going to be tint. When I got this car, I actually lagged on this for the longest time. I had this car for almost 2.5 years without getting tint. And I would just say that this is probably one of the biggest mistakes that I made when building this car. And after getting it done, I think this is like a top 3 mod that I'm going to do to every single car I get in the future, because it does like so many functions outside of just like making it look cool. Just imagine this car without tint. I don't think it'll look as good, but with tint, it really just like makes the car just flow altogether a lot better than it looking like a fishbowl, if I'm being honest. And then even outside of the cosmetics on how it looks like, having tint is also like a big functionality of pretty much anything. Having tint will make your car significantly cooler in the interior depending on the type of tint that you get. And all of you tint connoisseurs or all of you tint installers probably will know better than I do, but there's certain tint out there where you can actually make it prevent any UV rays from getting into the car. And I might sound like I know what I'm talking about, but there's a good chance I probably don't. Having tint will actually make it a little bit cooler because all the UV rays aren't getting into the car because there is that extra layer of protection with tint being in the car. There's a lot of you out there who have been experiencing sticky dash with the IS, and having just like a 70% tint in the front window will actually help with preventing the front dash stickiness in the future. Even to some people who have like the Nissan 240s, you guys will also experience sticky dash as well. So if you guys get a thin layer, like a 70% layer in the front, you can't really tell that there's tint on there, but there is tint on there that'll protect your front dash. Perfection. All right, so this next one I feel like is very subjective, and it's all based on someone's situation, their preference, and what they like, because everyone's preference is different. Depending on the car, I always think an exhaust is definitely a way to go in terms of like the top 6 mods that you can do to your car. So you want to make sure that your exhaust system is absolutely right for what you want. You're either gonna love it or actually gonna hate it. I think this also depends on each person's different situation. Like, let's say for example, you're going to school, you're going to work, and you have to wake up at 5 a.m. You have to leave your house at 5 a.m. The crack of dawn. Everyone's still sleeping, no one's waking up, and you want to straight up your car. Is that the best option for you? I don't know. Like, if you want your neighbors to hate you for all of eternity, shoot, be my guest, you can go for it. And I guess another example is like, let's say you have kids, you know, maybe they're not really used to all like the loud noises and stuff. Maybe you don't want to get a loud exhaust. Maybe you kind of want to tone it down a little bit. So I guess it's all based on different people's situation, the kind of car you have, preferences and all that stuff. I think exhaust is definitely something that you should get because you will fall in love with the car even more. But just make sure you know the exhaust system that you're gonna get and what you're getting yourself into before doing it. So next is actually one of my favorite things to do with the car because there are so many options, and I'm not just talking about the IS in general. I'm talking about every single car out there on the market. Whether you got a Subaru, you got a Honda, you got a Nissan, you got Acura, whatever you have, there are so many options for this. And I feel like adding a lip kit or even a body kit to your car is something that is like it makes me enjoy the car, because this is where you kind of distinguish yourself from the stock looking IS, Honda, Acura, whatever it may be, to something that is actually yours. So if you take a look at the car, obviously it's very modified compared to a stock IS, but one of the first things I've done to my car was actually add this front lip. And this, it's very subtle, but it also makes it stick out a lot more because not every IS looks exactly like my front. Of course I'm low, but you can obviously add a lip kit without even lowering your car at all. And just adding like little side skirt extensions like this, little carbon fiber pieces like this, and even like the diffuser, you can have so many options in terms of customizability when modifying your car. And the reason why I love this so much is because everyone has their own different taste. You know, my taste might not be the same as yours. It might not be the same as my grandpa, my grandma, my cousin, whatever it may be. Every person has their own taste that they like, and having a different type of lip kit is like an expression of yourself. And other people might have the, you know, the same taste as you. They might have the same like diffuser, front lip, whatever it may be, and that just means that you guys have the same similar taste. It doesn't necessarily mean that someone's copying you. So that's why I feel like this is something that I absolutely look forward to when getting a new car, so you can always go free and do whatever you may want with the lip kits, because this is ultimately an extension of yourself. So now that we are in the interior of the car, one underrated, and I want to say one underappreciated mod is actually upgrading your interior lights to something other than the stock looking bulbs. And if you're someone who like doesn't really use your lights a lot or doesn't drive a lot at night, similar to like myself, just because, you know, I'm just lazy, so I don't really use my lights, but whenever I do, it's always like a refresher, because everything else on the outside looks good, but then you come into the interior and let's say you have stock lights, it's just like having your own house or buying your own house, and it's Christmas time, you decorate everything on the outside, you know, you got a bunch of lights, everything is decorated, but then you come into the interior of the house and everything is like nothing has been touched. That's similar to how it is in the car. I just feel like it's too bland. You want to have yourself a well-rounded car. You don't have to fix up everything with like a carbon fiber steering wheel and upgraded infotainment system. You don't really need all that. I think just upgrading your interior lights is something that is very underappreciated, and your passengers will know. They will know that you upgraded your lights for sure. You absolutely won't regret upgrading your interior lights, because it not only will make you happy because you did something in the interior, but it'll also make a good impression for anyone that comes into your car, because they will notice. And I think it's a good mod that you can do, like I think it's fairly cheap, that you can do to your car like right off the bat. And last but not least, I feel like rounding everything out, you can never go wrong with adding a good set of wheels and tires to your car. I was very picky when picking wheels for this car because I am like one of the most indecisive people in this world, and everything, you know, it either looks good to me or it doesn't look good to me. Adding a good set of wheels and tires will just make any car look 100 times better than how it looks like without it. And in terms of situations like this, where it's like super rainy, it's super windy, and there's a lot of cars on the road, especially when you live in an area where it tends to rain a lot. Unlike California, where it rains, I want to say like 20% of the time. But adding a good set of tires will not only help you keep traction and also help you keep that peace of mind when you're driving in the rain, but you can also kill two birds with one stone by making your car look good and making sure you're staying safe on the road, because you can never go wrong with spending a little bit more on a set of tires. And I think this is very crucial, and I think this is one advice that I would like to, like, if there's anything you take from this video, if you get a new set of wheels and tires, do not please do not cheap out on a set of tires. It can be brand new, but if they're not good quality, they are not gonna keep you stuck to the road. Like if you get a good high quality tire, even though you're paying a little bit more than what you would have paid with like a mid-level tire, you'll thank yourself later, especially when it's raining like this, or if you like to take your car up in the canyons, you like to do like all the twisty turns and all that stuff, you're taking your car to the track, spending your money on a good set of tires, you will not regret it. Trust me, trust me. And with that, I guess I'll end it off on this point. You don't really have to spend a lot of money on the most expensive wheel either. They do have other cheaper options in terms of like, you know, reps and other different kinds of wheels. And I will get into that in another video, but some of you guys may like, I don't mess with rep, blah, blah, blah. I will get into that. But there are other options where you don't have to break the bank for a most expensive wheel. You know, if you're doing a daily build like myself, and you're gonna be driving this car, you know, in traffic, going to get boba or coffee, do you really need the most expensive wheel? If you're really balling like that, I mean, go for it. I'm not gonna tell you what to do to spend with your money, but there are other options where you don't have to spend an arm and a leg to make sure your car looks good. For those beginners out there, don't feel like you have to spend a lot of money to make your car look good. Everyone starts off from somewhere, so you just have to keep building up, and up from there. All right, guys, so that's gonna do it for today's video. I think I just wanted to make this video because there have been a lot of you who I've been getting DMs from. I am super appreciative because you guys have been saying like, oh yeah, dude, you inspired me to build an IS. And I am super grateful for that because I've never thought of my car as like being an inspiration to people. You know, I was just building my car because that's just something that I love to do. And since you guys took inspiration from that, I just want to let you guys know that these are like the first 6 mods that I usually do to my car. And it's not like, it's not something super crazy, and it's not something that is going to break the bank. Like I said, there are other cheaper options out there. If you don't have an IS and you're just watching this video just because you stumbled upon this video, you can also take these tips as well. Like you don't have to have an IS to follow these steps. And with the next build I do, it's actually gonna be the guideline that I follow because it's super simple. Everyone can do it. There's mods for every single car out there, and I just thought I'd put you guys on with some game, you feel me? But if you guys found this video helpful and you guys enjoyed today's video, definitely give this video a big thumbs up. If you guys aren't already, subscribe to the channel down below. We will be doing a lot more stuff with this car in 2022, as well as another car that should be on the way very, very soon. But until the next video, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.